It's Judgment Day for Group A here at the 2022 World Championship, and we kick things off with a banger between the West and Fnatic and Cloud9. With Fnatic in an excellent spot overall and C9 with backs against the wall, we see quite the adaptation from both teams here in the group stage, and this is our first look into how the meta will continue to evolve. As always, if you enjoy content like this, feel free to drop a sub to support the channel. Let's hop in the draft. We kick things off in the starting bans with Fnatic on blue, banning out Sejuani, Varus, and Aatrox, while C9 ban out Azir, Yuumi, and Caitlyn. This means that Maokai is left open here, but Fnatic goes straight on for the Victor as their opener. This is a very different look from what we've seen so far in groups, and Fnatic value the Victor for a stable mid lane here, I guess. C9 actually volunteered to respond by going for the Orianna matchup, and actually opting straight for an Ornn blind. C9 have likely reoriented their priorities on what's strong in the meta, and they're going back to that slow and controlled style that allowed them to dominate in the LCS. This also means that they just want Fudge to take a more supportive role here. They do give up the Maokai still, so Fnatic are going to snatch it up right away as their top jungle flex, as well as blind the Aphelios, who seems to still be the premier AD carry to go for. For the R3, C9 go for the Trundle and pretty much establish their front to back. At this point in the draft, both teams have accepted that front to back, durability style, strong scaling is the way to play, and both teams know exactly what they want in order to facilitate that. The bans just become about ridding themselves of picks that can best complement what they've got already. If we were talking about a straight meatball battle right now, both comps are pretty close in agency there. With this mindset though, we see Fnatic ban out Graves, which is one of the only champions that can take over Trundle for a winning matchup, as well as a Thresh, assuming that it is the only support pairing with Aphelios that C9 really care about. Fnatic's only concern here should be against the bottom lane, and since Aphelios has a pretty good matchup curve, they're only going to be afraid of picks that can potentially cause a bad matchup for him. This means we see the Lucian and the Kalista banned out, which are the two champions with the most kill threat in the situation. Hopping quickly out of the bans, C9 have a lot of options when it comes to pairing out their bottom lane. They've been trying stuff with higher pacing and it hasn't been working, so they opt to match their scaling with the Aphelios in the Jinx, which traditionally is a good stabilizing matchup. Attempting to now counter the revealed immobile AD carry that C9 has, as well as an immobile control mage, Fnatic opt to break their flex and go for the Maokai top lane, and then swing for the Jarvan as well. In my opinion, I do feel like conceptually this does solve some of the problems that Fnatic are faced with, but this means that they are sacrificing matchups in both top and jungle. Maybe they want to have a strong facilitator jungler to increase their early game options, or really value this J4 really highly, but I believe that they could have still kept Maokai in jungle, and then pick a champion that could potentially solve both issues for Fnatic while getting a winning matchup on top side, maybe something like Camille or Lilia. Fnatic also used their last chance to straight up go for a Soraka pick. The rationale behind this is that seeing Jinx, the most likely pairing they're going to see is an Enchanter, and most likely Lulu since this is competitive play. So the Soraka both contributes to their front to back condition and attempts to get a read on the bot lane pairing here. It pays off as C9 opts to just take the worst matchup anyway. Lulu is a great pairing with Jinx and all, but seeing all 9 champions set up, I think it's super easy to create another matchup within the Enchanter pool in order to relayer this and actually gain an advantage. Something like Sona would fit the bill here, as this puts the scaling back onto C9 while still achieving a very similar purpose. The Lulu matchup is much worse into Soraka and makes it harder for them to trade properly at all into this lane, whereas Sona reorients the goals of the lane further into just simply scaling and doing nothing. Many pro teams do prefer to go to Lulu for a bit more early game agency, so I still understand the pick. Overall, both comps are pretty much built to do the same thing, but there are different sources of power on both sides. Fnatic's comp has a much bigger focus on their backline value, as Soraka can solo carry these teamfights if she's left untouched, so she will have a big target on her back for Fnatic. On the other hand, C9's comp has less direct sources of strength like Fnatic's comp does, but actually piloting the fights is much easier. Because of this, and winning matchups in jungle on top side, I rate the draft 55-45 in favor of C9. As always though, hope this analysis was insightful to you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay fresh.